Hi, my name is Anna, and this is the last of 3 video tutorials that will give you instruction for how to use Web 2.0 tools in your classroom in authentic ways. The last web tutorial will look at the website Quizlet.com. This is a platform that can be accessed on both computers, cell phones, or other smart devices. It allows students to study for tests in engaging and fun ways. Quizlet is something that I've used in my social studies classes as a way to have students not only study vocabulary, but also to learn about concepts in history in European, American, and Asian history. So let's get started with learning how to use it. First, to access Quizlet, you go to www.quizlet.com, and then you go up to this button that says Sign Up. In the Sign Up screen, you enter your birthday. Now, why you need your birthday is because Quizlet is adhering and complying with U.S. law. You create a username, you put in your email account. I usually use my school email account or one that I use with students. A password that's easy to remember, and agree to terms and service. Once you check this box, a question will come up that will ask if you're an educator. It will then take you forward into an educational venue, and you'll be able to start using Quizlet. So once you've developed an account, you will now be in a screen that looks sort of like this. You have the capacity to change some of your settings if you'd like. If you scroll over to the right-hand side, you'll see settings. You can change your picture, your username, etc. You can also upgrade to a different premium version, which you would have to pay for. I haven't ever found the need to go beyond the free version of Quizlet, as it has enough features to accomplish what it is I'm looking for. The first thing I'd like to show you is over here on the left-hand side. This sidebar is really important for keeping track of all the classes you create, the folders you create, as well as Quizlet updating with news every day. They offer examples of ways that teachers use Quizlet in their classroom, as well as new sets that are developed. So, how do you develop a class? What you do is you click on this plus button right here that says Join or Create Class. Once you do that, you are able to create a class of your choice. So in this case, I want to call it Miss Barksdale's American History class. Now, I don't want to just leave it as this, as there are other Barksdales in the world. So I might actually create something that says New Hampshire, or the specific SAU 73-2, since I already have one that's called this, and then I would be able to create this class. When my students go to join a class and they're searching for it, I could specifically give them this title so it's easier to find. I could put a description which states maybe what this class is going to study. This is a class about World War II. And that way they know that they found the right class. Furthermore, I want to keep this checked, as it allows other members who are part of Quizlet to access my cards no matter where they are. And finally, you can actually add your specific school so that when students are searching for it, it's easier for them. I then would create my class. Now obviously, since this was just created, I don't have any sets developed. I will show you how to develop a set in a second, but I want to show you some of these tabs. First, this will list all the class members who join your class, so you'll know that there are students who should be in your class. You have the capacity to invite more people by username or email, or you can have them join this link by emailing this link that you notice here. Once you develop a set, you can add it by simply clicking Add Set and then choosing the set that best applies. But before we talk about that, let's talk about how do you create a set. Up in the top here, you'll notice it says Create a Set. Now, a set can be vocabulary words, mathematical terms, science, foreign language words, whatever you want it to be. As a social studies teacher, I'm going to use mine as a World War II vocab quiz. But I'm going to show you something cool that I know that our foreign language teachers really like. So in this case, I'm going to type the word Germany, and I'm going to put aggressor nation. Now you'll notice that what's popped up is actually a screen that asks, is that English? Now, why I draw this to your attention is because if you are teaching a foreign language, such as Spanish or French, students can actually change the terms or teachers so that it is in their foreign language. If you click No, Choose a Language, you'll notice that a list of almost any language you can imagine will come up. If you are teaching a foreign language, you can change it accordingly, and then students can study as needed to better master vocabulary skills when they're learning a particular language. Now, for the purpose of this test, mine is going to stick with English since that is what I teach my class in. You have to at least add 2 terms in order to make a set. So I'm going to put Japan, Pearl Harbor. Now, once I've done that, I have my term and my definition. I've chosen my language. I'm going to come over to these features. Just recently, Quizlet has added a feature where you're able to add an image. For visual learners, this may help them better understand concepts, especially when they're learning things that require them to master particular formula skills. Maybe it's a concept in science, etc. So if you click on the picture, what Quizlet actually does is it goes forward and takes stock of visuals that may be applicable to your particular topic. Anything to do with the keyword search of Germany. You also can upload your own image if you found one that you have that is relevant to the topic you're talking about. Now, for the sake of this test, I'm just going to select the flag, the German flag, and I click Japan, and this time I'll select the map. But if it's a vocabulary word that I think my students might have a difficult time pronouncing, you can actually click on this little microphone and it allows you to record what the word is saying. If you don't think your definition is strong enough, another feature that Quizlet has, it allows you to click on this A, and if you scroll down, you're going to notice it has all these definitions that people who have ever used the word Germany in Quizlet have. If I find something that seems it would be better used for World War II, I can select it accordingly. I can add it to my already created definition. So Adolf Hitler being the leader of Germany during World War II. I can do the same for Japan, and you'll notice that there's features, and if I find something that looks like it would work better for this particular era, I can use it. And once I'm done, I'm then able to create my set. You click the Create button, and your set will be established. Now, I'm going to take you back to the home page to remind you how to add it to your class. So here we go. When you're over in your home page, when you click on your class, you add the set by once again clicking Add Set and then selecting the one that you want. Now you're going to notice it says Allow Class to Edit. You can decide if you want this to be an option or not. You can unselect it or select it. So it's important to understand that if you want your class to add more words, you will allow them to have that option. If you do not want them to change or touch the set, you will not push this button. When you've made that decision, you will then click Done, and the set will be added to your class so that any students who are in this class will be able to access the set accordingly. Alright, let's go back to my home page so I can show you how studying in the sets works. Earlier, I created a mock weather set to show you how it works. And what I did is I took part in some of the games that I'm going to show you in a second, and as I progress through those games, Quizlet has a really neat feature that will show the user how they're doing on their vocabulary. So you'll notice that the word hurricane in all my games, I've never missed that word. The word fog, I rarely miss, but I really am struggling with the words rain and tornado. Now I purposely set this up so that you could see how students can keep track of what words they really need to focus on, terms, etc. They can star particular terms and only study those. They can create an audio. Maybe they can play an audio which will then say the terms to them correctly. They can create a voice recording which will remind them, maybe it's them saying the word over and over, maybe it's spelling the word out. And finally, they can edit this term inline, meaning they have the capacity to add more to it in case they need help further along. So, what are some of the options of how to study in Quizlet? First, you have the traditional flashcards. This option creates literally flashcards. You click on the flashcard and it shows you the definition as well as the visual. If you click on the visual, it will create a full screen version. Once you're done studying, you can go back to your set. You then have another option called Learn. Now in Learn, you will be given the definition in the word, and your job is to type it in accordingly, and then you type answer, and it will let you know if you're correct or not. You press any key to continue. Now, if you get a word wrong, this is where it starts to keep track of the fact that you may not be understanding the word. So I've gotten it correct, but this time I'm purposely going to type rainfall, knowing that the answer is rain, and it shows you that what I said and what the correct answer is. This will then keep track of that I got it incorrect, and this will be a term I'll need to come back to later. Another activity students can take part in is Speller. When I go to the screen, you're going to hear a woman's voice say the word, and then students can spell it. This can help in making sure students are mastering vocabulary. For younger grades, it can help with actual spelling. So let's take a look at how it works.
Hurricane.
The woman said hurricane. I type hurricane, and I am correct. She says rain. I'm purposely going to get this wrong, so we keep track.
R-A-I-N.
So you'll notice
Rain.
that she went back and corrected what I had done wrong. It's a pretty cool feature. Another feature of Quizlet is the test. This is as straightforward as it can be. It literally is a test, but what it does is it creates questions that might be written, multiple choice, or true or false. This allows students to practice different ways of taking the test. They can also select if they just want multiple choice, if they just want true or false. They can start with the term, they can do both, they might just three, and then you click create new test, and it will create a new test for you as you see. There are also some games that students can play. There's a game called Scatter, where students have the ability, you overlay the words and then it disappears, and it keeps track of your time. When you finish, it actually will bring up previous games that you've played of this and show you where you stand. So you'll notice before I got a 7.5, so I did a little worse this time. It makes learning a little more fun. And finally, there's something called the space race. So what happens is the picture will go across the screen, and my job is to type it as fast as I can. Now, as I've been purposely getting rain wrong, I'm going to keep typing it wrong so that it shows you what will happen if I don't get it correct. It all of a sudden will appear and give me an option where I have to copy it so that I'm reinforcing what I've learned. Once again, you can look at your high score, and it turns learning into a competition. So it turns learning into an exciting and engaging experience. There's some other tabs up here that you'll notice. You can check the class's progress as they go forward with different students. You can look at scores and information about how your students are actually doing in the class sets. So finally, the last thing I'd like to show you is back at the home page, and it's the creation of what is known as a folder. As you add more and more sets, it will become more and more chaotic. So creating a class folder will help you organize your sets in a more efficient way. So I'm going to call this one American History 3. You can add a little description. Maybe it's for the year 2015, and then you'll create your folder. Once you've done that, you can then start adding sets to that folder that should be added so that you can keep better organization of the many sets that you develop. If you decide that you don't need a set in this folder any longer, you can click remove accordingly. So, that was just a quick glimpse at this Web 2.0 tool of Quizlet, a platform that allows students to engage in learning of new concepts, vocabulary mastery, and more. I hope that it's been informative and helpful, and you, like me, will find value in how this tool can help enhance learning in your classroom.